A principle of restraint means that release at the earliest opportunity will be favored over detention.
Sean Fraser, the Attorney General of Canada, his arrogance has caught up with him. Welcome back to Moose on Loose. My name's David. Today we got the Mayor of Vaughan, a former Liberal Ontario leader, blasting him. We also have a report showing that Sean Fraser knew that crime rates in Canada were going to explode. He did nothing. We also have Kash Patel in America saying that the northern border, America's northern border, is the one they're watching most because terror lords are flooding into America from Canada. We also have an NDP press conference that goes off the rails and it's hilarious. Let's jump into this. Got this one here. New report reveals almost 300,000 people in Ontario walked out of an emergency room without receiving care over the past year. Not decade, not 5 years, the past year. That's how bad our system is right now. I've had a whistleblower call me recently and give me a heads up on what's going on. I'll be doing some more digging and unveiling that coming soon. But we know the problem here. It's immigration. There's too many people coming in. We don't have enough doctors. There's not enough of everything. It's time to shut the door. Got Franco Terrazzano with this one. Via Rail just handed out $11 million in bonuses last year. Records show the average bonus for a Via executive was $110,000. The government bailed out Via Rail to the tune of $1.9 billion over the last 5 years just to cover the train company's operating losses. This is taxpayer money being flushed out the window. Jumping over to this one, we've got Gary Anisandri. What's happening here? OPP will not participate in federal pew-pew buyback program, minister says. Anti-taxers saying my pew-pews are not going to be used to rearm the Tamil Tigers. This situation here, it's bonkers. I don't even know what's going on because they say it's a voluntary program now. Maybe they're realizing that it's so wasteful, it's going to be $2 billion to go forward with this, which obviously is not going to look so good in the budget. And look what we've got here. Gary Anisandri getting questioned on this whole pew-pew buyback program.
You say the amnesty is going to be extended for guns. For how long?
More details will be forthcoming.
Why
on the buyback program, who's going to collect guns in Ontario? There is no deal yet as far as we know. How are guns going to be collected in Ontario?
More information will be forthcoming as we announce.
He's not going to answer anything. He just goes on to say the same thing over and over. More details coming later. Don't worry. Once Mark Carney tells me what I'm going to do, what I'm allowed to do, this guy's useless. We also got this breaking. Mark Carney names Gary Anisandri as special envoy for the Tamil Tigers. This is a joke. This is not true, but it's funny. This next clip here is hilarious. So NDP had a housing announcement. They brought on this lady here, someone who had been struggling to find a place to live for months. Their announcement here backfired as she blames immigration as the reason to this problem.
The party invited Shirley Gallagher to its election announcement to share her experience looking for an affordable place to live. Gallagher came home to Newfoundland from Alberta to retire, and she says she couch surfed for 8 months before finding an apartment. Then she said something unexpected, that the federal government's immigration policies are to blame.
Yes, that's why there's a crisis. I mean, there let too many people in, apparently, obviously, and that's why. I mean, I'm a Canadian citizen. I worked 50 years of my life, and I can't afford a house. This is something.
The NDP quickly distanced itself from the idea that immigrants have created the housing crisis.
I agree that the problem is to do with housing availability. I've always said that anyone who calls this place home deserves a place to live. This is not, from our point of view, it's not about people, it's about a failure on government to actually come up with deeply affordable housing.
This guy desperately trying to do cleanup duty here. Shut the doors. It's time to shut the doors. Moving ahead, we've got this one. Build Canada Now, an open letter to Prime Minister of Canada. This letter here, coming from the energy giants of Canada, you have dozens, nearly 100 signatures from different CEOs, different company leaders. They've laid out some rules for Mark Carney here if we want to have prosperity in Canada. Build Canada Now, an urgent action plan to strengthen economic sovereignty. 1, simplify regulation. 2, commit to firm deadlines for project approvals. 3, grow production. 4, attract investment. And 5, incent Indigenous co-investment opportunities. I don't really agree with this one here. Indigenous population makes up 5% of Canada. We should be getting rid of all Indigenous payments and just treat everyone equal in Canada. But regardless, look at this. Signature after signature. I mean, look at these companies. Nicholas McKenna, ConocoPhillips. This is a huge oil company. Cenovus Energy, Chevron. They're all signing it. You can see it just goes on and on and on. What will Mark Carney do? Next up, we got this. Check out this title of someone who works in the UK government. Tim Hodgson just had a productive meeting with UK Secretary of State for Energy and Net Zero. That's the title for someone in government. Isn't that amazing? Ed Miliband. If one thing's clear, it's that through partnership we can build and secure critical minerals. We've got industrial strategies on sustainable sustainable low-carbon footing, help transatlantic democracies meet this moment. Oh God, I hate this saying. I really do. They're trying to weave us in with the UK. We want to have nothing to do with the UK. Everything about the UK is falling apart right now. Their immigration has overrun the country with goblins, goons, and gangsters beyond belief. Their economy is in shambles. On this episode of Far Off Ripoff, the Liberal government has spent $5 million on justice and anti-corruption support program. The hypocrisy of this one's pretty ripe. Adaptation and implementation of legal and regulatory framework to combat insecurity and corruption, capacity building of the judicial system at community level, as well as access to justice in order to prevent and resolve conflicts, which should contribute to increasing the resilience of the environment and consolidation of advocacy of monitoring capacities of civil society organizations, ensuring the accountability of actors in the judicial system and the advancement of justice reforms. This is a whole schwackload of resilience of the environment, fighting corruption and beefing up the judicial and legal system, anti-corruption in Haiti. But why? How about we spend this money at home doing this? There's so much corruption in our own government. Justin Trudeau never investigated for his SNC Lavalin scandal where he broke the law. Maybe we should start there. There goes $5 million right out the window. Moving over to Crime Alley. What do we have today? Toronto police arrest a man accused of breaking into a home and SAing a sleeping woman. 40-year-old Jose Galvez Espinoza of Montreal was charged with breaking, enter, and SA. Charges have not been tested in court. We got this one here. 3 charged following 2 armed home invasions on the same street in Vaughan. Thanks, guys. Doctor or engineer? What do you think? Criminal. That's right, criminal. Now jumping over to moosechart.com. Here's a thought. Is Mark Carney, the Liberals, allowing all this crime to happen in Canada because Mark Carney's invested in companies that do home security? Got this one here. Johnson Controls International. They do HVAC, air conditioning, heating, cooling, and home security systems. And if we look at Johnson Controls International stock, what has happened here? Mark Carney gets elected right here, and the stock goes nuclear. That's a coincidence. Interesting. Why'd that happen? If we move down Mark Carney's investments here, what else do we have? Honeywell International also does home security. And if we look at their stock, what has happened here? Carney gets elected right here, and kaboom! Now it has gone back down since, but interesting. There seems to be a trend going on here. Why are all these stocks that Carney's invested in going up in value after he became prime minister? This wasn't public knowledge before the election. I smell something funny. And if we look at other ones here, obviously he's got Amazon and he's got Alphabet or Google. They both have doorbell cameras, that kind of thing. But really, those are the 2 biggest companies that I can find that do home security, because no one in their right mind would keep the laws we have right now where we have gangsters ending Canadians on a daily basis and essentially go unpunished. Basically, in Canada, you get minimal punishment for ending lives. That's the truth of it. Moving ahead, we got Table Salt with this one saying that Justice Minister Sean Fraser knew about all the stuff that was going to happen in Canada. He was warned and he did nothing. So you see this increase in V-word crime and its impact on public confidence, demographic changes, shifting economic models, rising income inequality, cost of living crisis, a shift towards precarious employment, increased debts, especially for younger generations, and a decline in intergenerational mobility. They knew about everything. They did nothing. They want this to happen. This is their plan rolling out. If this wasn't their plan, they would have done a 180 immediately. So this is their plan. This is what the Liberals have in store for us.
Mr. Speaker, soft on crime Liberal laws are hard on Canadians and our communities. Just yesterday, Halton Region passed a unanimous motion demanding action from the Liberals on repeat violent offenders now, not in October, not next year. After a decade of Liberal catch and release laws that have allowed criminals to terrorize our communities, they're now obstructing conservative jail, not bail laws that will lock up our criminals. How many lives have to be lost before the Liberals finally wake up and get out of the way?
The Honourable Minister of Public Safety.
Mr. Speaker, slogans are not going to resolve crime on our streets.
Yeah, this is rich coming from the guy who quite literally helped and sponsored terror lords coming into Canada. This guy should be in jail for what he's done, not the guy in charge of public safety.
I've been able to meet with a number of police chiefs as well as police unions to talk about smart criminal justice reform. That's exactly what we'll be doing, Mr. Speaker.
Next up, we got Kash Patel, director at the FBI, saying that it's America's border with Canada that's the one to watch, not Mexico, because of the onslaught of terror lords flooding in from Canada down to the U.S.
Our northern border, it's largely expansive. The enemy has adapted, and we need more focus on the northern border to stop known or suspected terrorists from coming in from places like China, Russia, the Middle East, Africa, Afghanistan.
And what can you tell us about the remaining threat posed by potential terrorist cells here in the United States?
The terrorist threat that continues to be posed by international terrorists here in the United States is one of my highest priorities. We are working through our intelligence community partners to identify those individuals, and we've taken down numerous individuals in numerous rings across this country to neutralize that terrorist threat, including in places like New York City, Los Angeles, and I believe Dallas, Texas most recently.
How did we get to this point that it's what Americans think of Canada? Correct me if I'm wrong, but don't the U.S. Border Service choose who they allow into our country? They're not walking across the border stations. They're going out in the bush and jumping across onto a street and someone's picking them up on the other side. We got this one here. Former Ontario Liberal leader and Mayor of Vaughan calls for an end to Liberal catch and release.
I understand from media reports that Prime Minister Carney and his cabinet are in fact in the GTA as we speak, having cabinet discussions about all of the important priorities that the federal government has in front of them. And I understand it. There's lots for them to tackle, dealing with President Trump, dealing with tariffs, dealing with so much more. I don't know what's on their agenda, but I have to say, if this topic, fixing the criminal justice system once and for all, so that victims rather than criminals are protected, so that we don't have, as it's being called, the revolving door of criminals who are arrested and then back out on bail, sometimes the same day, to offend repeatedly, again, whether that's vehicle break-ins or home break-ins or carjackings or whatever it is. If this item is not on their agenda, well, then they've badly lost the plot. I hope it is. And I hope sincerely that today we will hear something definitive from the federal government, definitive that they are committed, that the Prime Minister himself is committed to working with Premier Ford, with the mayors and municipal councils here across the GTA and beyond, where these incidents sadly continue to happen, to make sure that what should not have ever occurred to Aleem and his family and his community, to make sure that it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, it's going to happen again and again and again. I can't even keep up with all the stories of people being poked and pow-powed and pew-pewed on a daily basis. At this point, all these crimes that are going on, the Liberals should be liable for this. People should be able to sue them for not changing the laws. If this doesn't get fixed soon, Canadians are just going to resort to committing crime because crime doesn't get punished. Then you're going to have crime everywhere, not just from people coming into Canada, but Canadians who are desperate. They're just going to start robbing and stealing everything because they can get away with it. We got this one. Canada's most wanted fugitive gets 9-year sentence in fatal shooting. That's right. 9 years. That's all you get for ending a life here in this country. The most wanted fugitive. We can't stick this guy behind jail for 50 years. Canada's gone soft. 9 years, we'll see him on the streets in 4. Yeah, probably. And don't worry, he'll end more lives once he gets out. Next up, we got this buffoon, Sean Fraser. Got Melissa Lantsman blasting him here. How do you fix a problem if you can't see it? Sean, everyone has read the bill. Here are the highlights your Liberal colleagues helped. Sean Fraser the other day went on an arrogant rant saying that nobody's read the criminal justice laws and we should all familiarize ourselves with how it really works.
But when the honourable member poses a question about repealing Bill C-75, I would suggest it is a good idea to read it first. He does not seemingly understand that bill actually makes it harder for people who are charged with intimate partner violence to receive bail.
The honourable member for Ottawa South.
Pleased to stand this evening to speak to Bill C-75. Bill C-75 includes amendments that will streamline and modernize the bail process while maintaining public confidence in the criminal justice system.
Back in 2019, the federal government passed C-75, a big old revamp of our criminal justice system. And the goal was to speed things up, reduce backlogs, and make bail fairer.
The bill will expand bail conditions that police are able to impose on an accused, which will enable their release at an earlier stage. These conditions, however, will be guided by a principle of restraint for police and prosecutors.
Enter the principle of least restraint. It's straight from the criminal code. When someone is arrested, the default is to release them quickly with the lightest conditions possible. No big bail bonds or house arrest until the prosecutor proves that they're a flight risk, a repeat offender threat, or likely to tamper with evidence.
A principle of restraint means that release at the earliest opportunity will be favored over detention, and that only reasonable and necessary bail conditions are to be imposed on an accused.
Detention, being kept in jail, should be the last resort. Bill C-75 codified that. Plus, it told judges to consider people's backgrounds to avoid over-jailing them. This prioritizes releases over safety, especially for violent crimes. And with repeat offenders, it's like giving a kid a timeout for breaking a vase and then handing them another one.
That is exactly what it's like. So I bet Sean Fraser wants to have that one back. Pretty scathing, they dug up this clip of David McGuinty back from 2019. Why is the footage so bad from back then? That's not that long ago. Sean Fraser is definitely the most incompetent minister we've ever seen in the House of Commons. Yes, that is true. How he became and still is a cabinet minister defies all logic. Minister of Justice and Attorney General? More like Minister of Lies and Deceit. Apparently he just doubled down on his post. If you want to fix bail, you have to do your homework. While the Conservatives want to repeal laws they haven't read, we'll be working to fix the bail system so bad repeat offenders won't pose a threat to the public. Oh, really? Is that what you're doing? It's only a matter of time before they show up at your house, Fraser. Then he's going to get a real taste of what he's unleashed in our country. Meanwhile, inside a mall in Toronto, we've got a guy relieving himself in the corner because this is Canada now.
I want to see this. You know you're weird for that, right? You're weird for that. You're weird for that.
Why are you doing?
Because that's nasty. You're nasty for that, bro.
That's really nasty. We need to have a set of social rules, and if someone's coming to Canada and they break them, then it risks deportation. We have to have rules in place. Otherwise, we're going to be seeing stuff like this all the time. I get there's cultural differences. Learn what our culture is. Otherwise, you can't live here. That's what the rule should be. Meanwhile, in Mississauga, we've got a gang of dirt bikes dangerously ride through a pedestrian celebration square. Then Peel police officers see them and start chasing them.
Oh, fuck. Where's everybody?
Police right there.
Go, 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 go! Go, go, go! Go,
Look at these idiots. Just arrest all of them. The gas here is $123.9. It's so cheap. So all these idiots leave the gas station and start doing wheelies. This is what the Liberals have imported into our country. Just a gang of idiots. Lock them up. Long live diversity. This is why we can't have nice things.